Scott Frost is exactly what UCF needs right now. It's okay to hope.
You are Locked On UCF, your daily podcast on the UCF Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome on into Locked On UCF, your daily UCF podcast. I'm your host, Mike G. Turn us on, turn us up, we'll turn it out. We're here on a Wednesday night, just hanging out. This is going to be a little bit of a different kind of show that I'm bringing at you guys today. We're going to talk a little bit about the feeling in the fan base right now about year one under Scott Frost, why it's okay to hope. In the second part of the show, we'll talk about the amazing fan base that has been UCF since I started Locked On UCF. And then we're going to talk about reasons why I think you should be excited for this season. Let's start at the top here. Hope. It's okay to hope. I've been seeing a lot of negativity on social media about this first season. And I got to tell you, I believe Scott Frost is the right guy for the job. Finding a coach that is not only a great coach, but a good fit for your institution is hard. That's why everybody is shelling out millions of dollars hoping that their guy is that next guy. Is Scott Frost that next guy for UCF? I think he is. I don't think you could have found a better fit for UCF than Scott Frost at this time. A guy who knows the landscape, who understands the recruiting base that he's in, and that wants to be there first and foremost. On a recent segment, we ran down the roster of guys that are possibly going to start at the two deep. That information was provided by a good friend, Stephen Leonard. Go visit his Substack. I don't have the address in front of me, but you can look up Stephen's Substack. He's a great writer, gives us a lot of great information. And what I see is a lot of guys who are very, very thankful for the new environment, for the energy around the program, for the culture that's being built at UCF right here in year one. But we've seen this before from Scott Frost, right? He's done this already. And I think that it's important that we talk about the fact that he's done it already. Scott Frost is not new to this, man. He knows what he's doing. It's why he was hired to do the job, and it's why UCF fans, I think, should be really excited about what he's got coming down the docket. So, Scott Frost back in Orlando, and what he's building is going to be really special. Well, what is it going to look like year one under Scott Frost? That's kind of what I want to tackle today. It's going to be an interesting ride, I think, for UCF fans. It's going to be a very interesting ride. And it's something that I think that it deserves a closer look. So what does it look like? The proven turnaround artist that is Scott Frost. Remember back when he took over UCF the first time, they went from 0-12 to 6-7 in year one. 0-12. When he landed in Orlando in the 2016 season, they had just gone winless. And by the end of the year, he had gotten them bowl eligible. Bowl eligible in year one. And this is the same type of task he's facing right here. Look, they didn't go winless last year, but make no mistake, a 4-8 football team, come on. 4-8. They might as well go on winless the way they played at times. But they were better than their 4-8 record. Players lost hope. Fans lost hope. You had to change coaches because Gus was unable to inspire hope. Guys, I know this is going to sound like a sermon. It's going to sound like I'm preaching, but the power of hope is very, very important. Once a program loses hope, recruiting drops off, ticket sales drop off, fan engagements drops off, and recruiting dollars and donor dollars drop off. You need hope. Hiring Scott Frost gave UCF just that. Look, we talk about Gus a lot, and I don't mean to knock Gus too much. I covered him when he was at Auburn, but I love the UCF fan base. They've got a great fan base. We're going to talk about that in the second half of the show. But when you look at what Scott Frost was born to do at UCF, taking them from winless to a bowl game to 13-0 in year two, a national championship that UCF should absolutely claim. In today's college football era, they would have got a chance to prove that on the field. It's too bad we didn't get to see that back in 2017, but certainly they took Auburn to task in the bowl game, and that cannot be understated. They wanted it more. It meant more to them. It's not smoke. Year one was the spark, though, for what 2017 was. The culture, the foundation, everything was laid in year one. And that's exactly what he's doing now, following that same blueprint. I think it's clear. He's got a background of developing talent and winning offenses. The development part is the most important piece that I want to talk about, because there are only a few coaches that develop at a high level. Look at what Lincoln Riley has done. He's produced multiple Heisman winners at QB. Nick Saban, probably the greatest developer of all time. These are some of the highest paid coaches in recent years in the game. They all do one thing well. They develop players. And if not all players, they have a specialty where they develop certain players, mostly quarterback. It's quarterback's game these days. At Oregon, Scott Frost was the offensive coordinator, and they had a really good attack. He coached Marcus Mariota. He won a Heisman. Frost was critical to that offense's identity. So his roots with players, the loyalty, the leadership, bringing high-level experience is something that Scott Frost is adept at. And that should give you hope. Fresh energy, a second chance. UCF brought him back, and I think it was the right choice. 5-year deal. Terry Mohajir, I think it was the right move. But look, none of this works without the fans. The fans are the absolute heartbeat of what it means to be a UCF Knight. And we'll talk about what that heartbeat means right after a quick word from our sponsors. This episode of Locked On UCF is brought to you by our friends at Monarch Money, guys. You need to manage your finances better? Monarch Money's got you covered. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401k properties or investments. It's all in one personal finance tool that brings you your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. That's Monarch Money. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. Guys, Monarch Money, don't let the financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com. Use code LOCKEDONCollege. This episode of Locked On UCF is also brought to you by our friends at OpenPhone. If you're running a business, every missed call is money left on the table. Think about the last time you needed a service. If the first person didn't answer, did you wait? Probably not. You moved on. That's why you need OpenPhone, so you never miss an opportunity to connect with your customers. OpenPhone is the #1 business phone system designed to streamline and scale your customer communications. Do you juggle 2 phones just to keep business and personal calls separate? OpenPhone solved that instantly. Your whole team can share one phone number and respond to customers like a shared inbox. No more, who's handling this? And the AI agent handles after-hour calls, answers common questions, and captures leads, so I never miss a customer again. See why over 60,000 businesses trust OpenPhone. They're offering Locked On listeners 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/lockedoncollege. That's openphone.com/lockedoncollege. They'll even port over your existing numbers for free. OpenPhone, no missed calls, no miss customers. Guys, time to talk about the UCF fan base. One of the greatest fan bases in college football. One of the largest undergraduate enrollments in the country. Nearly 60,000 undergrads. And that was as of fall of 2024. I've got a lot of friends that are UCF grads, and I can tell you, they're young, they're energetic, and they're ready for a winning program at UCF. But just like any good fan base, they're going to support you through the hard times and the good times, but you have to do your part, UCF. Terry Mohajir, I'm talking to you. You got to hire good coaches. You have to get them the support, and you have to advocate for the dollars that they need to run a program in today's college football. UCF fans are ready, but they still need a reason. As a great fan base, they need a reason to come out and to support and to yell at their top of their lungs and to get UCF football back to where it should be. In most programs, you guys know this, right? Football subsidizes all the other sports. A lot of these sports don't exist without football. It's important to the core of the university that the football team is healthy, that it's live, and that they win. UCF fans deserve a winning program. It's one of the greatest fan bases in the country. Now, they may have a young football history, but that doesn't mean it's not a good football history. As a matter of fact, I think that there is a lot of really good things in the youth of the fan base. Kids that understand today, tradition, I'm not going to say tradition is overrated, but I will say it's overplayed by a lot of the more historic college football programs. You all have access to the same resources now. The good old boys have been blocking the new bloods for a really, really long time. UCF fans, if you get behind your football program, you sign up, subscribe to the Competitive Success Fund, give what you can to help make the program, and then trust the administration to take those dollars and turn it into a winner. Because that's what it takes. I think you have the development piece in Scott Frost. But he needs help. He needs dollars. He needs support from an administration that understands the landscape of today's college football and understands that fans are not going to tolerate mediocrity. I said it on a previous show. UCF fans died a slow death under Gus Malzahn. He has struggled to adapt to today's college football. He's made poor choice after poor choice, and he could not develop to save his life. KJ Jefferson came to UCF and somehow became a worse quarterback than he was at Arkansas under Gus. That's a Gus thing. I can't see that happening under Scott Frost and McKenzie Milton. But UCF fans deserve a winner. They deserve to have a program that goes out there and lays it out on the field, and that results in dubs more than L's. 8 losses last season. This fan base didn't deserve that. And they showed up. At least they didn't lose the space game. But there were winnable games last year. Arizona State won the Big 12. That should have been UCF's marquee win. Cam Scatterboo didn't even play in that game. If you're Scott Frost, you have to deliver that win this year. Now, which game will that be on the schedule? I'm not sure, but certainly there are some opportunity for some marquee wins in this Big 12 schedule. I think the Baylor game might be an opportunity for a marquee win for UCF. Obviously, they play Kansas State to open up the season. That's going to be a really tough task. Beating Bill Belichick in North Carolina definitely would qualify in my book, in my opinion. Fans deserve that. They're ready. I've seen it. The incredible support that this channel has gotten from fans, I think, is proof that UCF deserves a winner. It's time to deliver. This is one of the most amazing fan bases in college football. It's time to give them what they deserve. Look, I'm going to end the show talking about why I think you should be excited for this season. But we're going to hear from our sponsors right before we talk about that. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, the daily fantasy platform that lets you turn your football predictions into real rewards. Preseason is already heating up, and college football isn't far behind. Whether you've got your eye on the big game quarterbacks or breakout running backs, Prize Picks makes it easy to get in the game. For this weekend, Prize Picks is offering major max discounts. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONCollege to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONCollege to get $50 in your first lineup. This episode of Locked On UCF is also brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. August 26th is officially FanDuel's Futures Day, a brand new holiday for football fans who live for bold predictions and preseason hunches. Just for 24 hours, FanDuel is giving you deals on NFL predictions. So whether you're calling your MVP, eyeing a long shot division winner, or ready to crown your Super Bowl champ before week 1 even kicks off, this is your moment. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your futures bets now, because Futures Day is one day and one day only. FanDuel, play your game. It's time to get excited for the season, guys. We get Thursday night football to kick off the season for UCF. And I think that the fresh energy that Scott Frost has brought to this program, and most of all, why I think it's okay to get excited for the season and why you guys should get excited, is the players have fully bought in. It's been clear. We've listened to the player interviews. We've talked to the recruits. They bought in. They bought into what this program is going to be under Scott Frost. He bleeds spirit and connection when it comes to UCF. That's going to come out on the field on Saturdays. It's something that you can't quantify in stats. It's really hard to look at the stats and say, here's why I think UCF is going to be better. But the belief that they're going to be better is rooted in the fact that you have a guy at the head of the program who is bought in. And I think that this is his last stop. It says something to have a coach who's not looking for his next job. A lot of coaches get tricked into that, man. They think that next program, that Nebraska job looked sweet at the time. I like what Scott Frost had to say. He said, sometimes when you're chasing, the dream, they tell you to stop. They forget to tell you to stop when you're happy. He was happy at UCF. Now he's back at UCF. I think he's even happier. Doing something he loves to do in a place that he loves to do it at. That should get you excited for the season. UCF is going to surprise some people this year, and that's another reason why I think you should be excited for this season. A lot of people are calling for UCF to be a sub-5-win football team, and I'm telling you, I don't see it happening. I think they're going to surprise some people. I think they're more talented. I think people are way too invested in what happened last season on an underperforming team that had lost faith in their head coach. This team has full faith in their head coach. And that's going to be good for 2 wins. If Gus got 4, Scott Frost will get 6. Maybe even 7. That sounds like a lot of fan talk. I don't know what to tell you. But I'm telling you that it's time to get excited for this. And for what it's worth, the program needs it. It needs you guys to be behind what they're trying to build here, because what they're trying to build is something special. Guys, that's it for another great edition of Locked On UCF. Thank you so much for making us your first listen of every single day. For your next listen, go check out our friends at The Portal Show. Our guy Brian Smith has the latest in portal signings and rumors, all the going-ons in college football right there in one place. You can find The Portal Show on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast, and you can find us here tomorrow on Locked On UCF.